Bon, bonjour, j'ai fait ça. Ça, c'est un des. Ça, j'ai passé beaucoup de temps à composer déjà. Et maintenant, je peux bouger ma tête. Ouais, maintenant. Donc là, c'est en train de détecter ma tête. Bouger l'autre tête.
Rien ne vaut le goût unique de Nutella pour nous retrouver. Nutella, des matins qui nous rapprochent.
Roblox VR. If you've ever played it, then you've probably been on one of these games before, like VR Hangout, VR Hands, VR Hand Simulator, and VR Wait. What is it with VR and hands? Anyway, so as you can see, there's not a lot of choice when it comes to VR Roblox games, which is why I decided to use my pro developer skills to try and make my very own VR Roblox game. So first I had to come up with a game idea, but there was just one problem. I'm dumb. I pretty much just spent the next 20 minutes trying to think of a decent idea, until... Perfect. So I'm going to be using this game called Job Simulator as a reference for my game. And if you don't know what Job Simulator is, it's basically where you just go to work. It's better than it sounds, I swear. So in Job Simulator, you have a choice of 4 different careers to choose from, but the one that I thought would work the best in Roblox was the restaurant. Like, can you imagine loads of players running around trying to cook food and serve customers? Okay, it might not be the most original idea, but as long as it's fun, right? Why has every single game been made before? So now that I had a game idea, I opened up Roblox Studio and made a new base plate. And as you can see, we don't have VR enabled yet. And that's because Roblox doesn't really have a built-in VR system. Like, you can use VR, but it's just a third-person camera. Like, what is this? So to make a proper VR system, I had 3 options. Option 1, I tried to script it myself, but I have no idea how to do that. Option 2, I use that Nexus script that everyone uses, but that's boring. And finally, option 3, I use a free template that comes with a custom character, a movement system, and grabbing physics. It's almost too good to be true. It might sound like option 3 is the obvious choice, but I wanted to try and be smart for once and decided to script it myself. So the first thing I did was make a custom character, and by character, I mean 2 hands and a floating head. Then to get the character to actually work, I added in a few remote vents and began scripting. I'd have never made anything like this before, so I ended up just getting confused and watching a tutorial.
Welcome to the new updated version of the VR tutorial.
And then after all that, I tried out the script, and then this happened. Okay, it looks like the hands kind of work, but I need to fix the position. Whoa! Oh my god, I need to take the heads off quick. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Then I tried fixing it myself, but ended up making it worse. So I got desperate and asked ChatGPT for help instead. Luckily, it seemed like it knew what it was doing, so once it had done all the hard work for me, I just copy-pasted the script and gave it a go. But it just ended up breaking the entire thing. Yeah, even AI can't get this stupid thing to work. So at this point, I literally spent all day trying to get it to work, so I eventually just gave up. It was now the next day, and I tried working on the VR system again, but I still couldn't get it to work properly. And then the day after that, still nothing. No wonder it's been so long since my last video. But then out of nowhere, I had an idea. Remember when I said about those 3 options? Yeah, well, turns out I had a working VR game the entire time. Whoa. So I found this uncopyrighted game made by a guy called Vortex Wizard that pretty much had everything that I needed for my game. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to check it out for yourself, because this one game literally saved this entire video, and me from going insane. But there was one small problem. The scripts are disgusting. And I know it doesn't really matter what the scripts look like, but I couldn't take it any longer and spent the next 30 minutes organising it all. It obviously works the exact same as before, but it's just nicer to look at, which also makes it easier to edit in the future. But apart from all that, that's pretty much a VR system complete, which means I can start working on the good stuff. But before I started working on the map or anything, I changed the lighting first, and I ended up having to watch my own tutorial to remind myself how to do it. But that just proves that it's a good video. So this is the lighting before, and this is after. Before, after, before, after, before. Okay, we get it already. So after fixing the lighting, I started working on the restaurant, but before building it, I drew this layout of the map so I knew where to put everything first. So at the front, we have the main dining area, where all the customers will sit and eat. Then at the back, we have the kitchen, which is where all the players will spawn and cook for food. And finally, we have the freezer.
Pourquoi il y en a avec de l'alcool dedans? Pourquoi? Bah non, on avait de l'alcool à 90, hein. C'est vrai? Mes parents, ils étaient pas si précautionneux, hein, je te le dis. Eh, l'alcool, eh, voilà. T'avais pas eu mal en tombant, t'as fait mal en traînant. Faut un pansement pour un pansement pour un pansement. C'est bon là, ça va là. Il faut un deuxième pansement pour coller le pansement. Oui, parce que c'est humide là, le mercredi. Bon, alors, il me faut. Je mets un autre pansement pour tenir l'autre pansement. Ça va des colorants. Pour le pansement. C'est fini. Voilà, c'est tout. C'est pas grave.
Which is where all the uncooked food will be. And wait a minute, what's that? Whoa, it's the subscribe button. So make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. Anyway, then I went back into Roblox Studio and started working on the outside of the map. And I found this restaurant that someone built on the dev forum, which I ended up using as a reference. Then after a few hours of building and trying out different ideas, this is what I came up with. But then when I was testing it in VR, I ran into a problem. Literally. For some reason, I can walk through walls, which is kind of cool, but it also ruins the game. So I'm gonna have to fix that somehow. But instead of fixing it, I just ended up working on the inside of a restaurant instead. Definitely not because I don't know how to fix it or anything. Okay, maybe I don't. Anyway, I added some furniture to the dining area, like some tables and chairs. Then I did the same for the kitchen, but with a few counters, an oven, and some other random stuff. And it actually didn't take as long as I thought it would to make all the furniture, but I think it's just because I was building the right cartoony style. So you might think that that's the map complete, but I decided to decorate the outside too, because the restaurant has big windows, and nobody wants to be staring at an empty base plate while they eat. That'd bring us down to a 1-star review. So I changed the base plate to some nice green grass, added in a road, made some buildings, and copy-pasted a few trees around the place. And now the map is complete, which means I can move on to scripting the cooking mechanics. So before I scripted anything, I first had to make raw food, and I didn't really know what kind of food to make, but there's literally a burger on the front of the building. So I just went with that and made this little burger patty. Then to be able to cook the burger, I added in a script and began scripting, without really thinking of what to write next. It's fine, I'll make it work. Okay, so...
Regardez, c'était ma vie avec Lisa. Ensemble, on aimait lire, sortir, aller au cinéma, flâner, voyager. C'était bien. Mais là où une histoire s'arrête, une nouvelle commence. Choisis la seconde main. Célèbre la mode avec Vinted.
Okay, so if you take the raw burger and slap it on the grill, boom! There we go. Now we just need to wait. So yeah. How's the weather? Oh, there we go. It's finally done cooking. And look how delicious that looks, oh my god. I also made it burn if you keep it on the grill for too long, so that will add a bit of challenge to the game, and a nice crunch to your burger. But after that, I made a bun, some lettuce, and some cheese, so you can make a proper burger. Or some kind of weird creation anyway. Then I did a bit of playtesting to see how the game was going so far, and it turns out making the same thing over and over again gets kinda boring. So I present to you... the hot dog. It's basically the exact same as the burger, but in a different shape, but I think that makes it different enough. And I don't know why it keeps rolling away by itself. That's weird.
12 seconds later.
No, come back, stop it, please. Oh my god, it's on the floor. Maybe the customer won't notice if I just blow the crumbs off. Okay, I was finally able to put the food together, but now we actually need someone to give it to, because the restaurant is dead. There's no one here. So first I added in a few rigs to start making the customers, but then I realised something. I'm like 8 foot compared to them, which I mean is accurate to real life, but I think it makes the game feel kinda weird. So all I had to do was go into the local script and change this little height number, and boom! Problem solved. Then to get the customers to actually spawn in, I put them all inside of a folder and began scripting. Then when we play the game, it spawns in a random guy if there's an empty spot in the restaurant, then he walks in and takes a seat. Then I made a GUI above his head to show what food he wants, and halfway through making the images for it, I remembered that viewport frames are a thing. So... perfect.
Cheeseburger.
Okay, so when we're in game, it spawns in a customer, and when he sits down, the GUI appears with a randomly selected food, but now I'm actually going to have to go and make it. Here you go, sir. Dinner is served. There we go. So he plays an eating animation, and then when he's done, he'll just disappear out of existence. Maybe I accidentally poisoned him. Oops. Anyway, so I think that's it. We've got the food, the customers, and I don't think there's anything else that needs adding. And if there is, then I can't be bothered making it. I also don't know if I'm going to publish the game or not, because it's kind of broken. And I don't know how many of you even have a VR headset, but let me know in the comments if you do. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out the one on screen now.
Est-ce qu'on peut économiser pour un casque? Un casque VR.
This train in Singapore frosts its windows when passing by private properties. This is done as the train passes extremely close to residential apartments, so this provides privacy for residents. But hopefully this doesn't turn into a way of censoring public areas. This train in Singapore frosts its windows when passing by private properties. This is done as the train passes extremely close to residential apartments, so this provides privacy for residents. But hopefully this doesn't turn into a way of censoring public areas. This train in Singapore frosts its windows when passing by private properties. This is done as the train
Okay.
Imagine you're walking to work one day, and suddenly, kaboom! Someone drops an atomic bomb on you. Now, imagine if that happened to you twice. Imagine you're walking to work one day, and suddenly, kaboom! Someone drops an atomic bomb on you. Now, imagine if that happened.